Hey folks, so I went to the grocery store again today after picking up bringing Sophia to school in the morning, and I decided like, if I'm going to the grocery store, I'll just do another video because I felt up to it. Which anytime I feel up to doing a video, I kind of have to jump on the feeling and just do it if I think about it too much, or if I like come home and I'm like, oh no, my hair's a mess. What if I have food in my teeth, face, whatever. Like if I think about it too much, I won't do it. I'll talk myself out of it. So here I am because I did not talk myself out of it and thought I'd say hello to people. I still feel like these are like the weirdest videos. But again, I think it's good for people of all body types and all health journeys to talk about food freedom. And I think it's also cool just to talk to, like, if you're a reader from Medium, you can see a little bit what I'm really like and see that, like, oh, she has so many followers on Medium, but she's like really not put together at all. And I think stuff like that is really good. I know I do the landscape kind of weird, or like I do the square. It's just looking at my phone, and a square is like easier for me to deal with. I don't feel so distracted. But I know on YouTube it's not very pretty, but it's okay. I don't know if I'll ever really like edit, but I'm sure as time goes on, I'll feel more comfortable, all of that good stuff. I've been a mom for 7 years now, and I can say like that has made a really huge difference on how like well I interact with other people, and like how I talk to adults, how well I friend. Probably as somebody like on the spectrum of autism and with apparently ADHD, I think I'm a little more prone to like regression just because I'm out of the habit of talking to people. So I suspect that some of these videos will be like a lot better than others, just with my comfort level, and then others will be a little bit more awkward because I get stuck sometimes in like as I'm speaking, listening to my voice, like hearing not like an echo, but just almost an echo, and you think and you sit there like thinking while you're speaking, oh my gosh, like I feel so stupid, like, or just awkward. And I don't know, it's something that I've felt since high school, even back in the day when I was much more like social butterfly, much more much better with like public speeches and all of that type of thing. But definitely in the last several years, it's been a little bit more of a hurdle. So I think that these will be good for me, and I hope again that these will be good for you, just to be like, oh yeah, it's like a normal person. Like normal people can write awkward. Maybe you don't think I'm normal and I'm awkward and weird, and that's fine too. But there's just so much going around right now with like writers and creatives. If you make art online, if you produce content, there's just a lot of expectations of how you should be polished, and all of these different things. And I find that personally, for somebody with my issues and someone who just like, I just want to write, I find that really awkward and difficult. I don't know. I feel like it's an expectation for like neurotypical success, that you're writing and you're also doing all these other things. So for me, doing these little videos is like, you can see what I'm really like. You can see sort of what I mean when I talk about my struggles. You get a better idea of who I really am. And I think it's good to be exposed to artists who are not projecting like specific curated images. Like a lot of you know how I feel about Rachel Hollis and the whole like curated honesty and stuff. So I hope you can get something out of these videos, and I hope to talk about more than food, like do other like not grocery trips, but we'll see with my comfort level. So this was a different kind of grocery trip for me. Not a lot of produce because actually I already put the blackberries away. So the only produce I got today was bananas and blackberries, and I already put those away. Um, and I only got that produce because we have enough right now. We've got like rainbow carrots that are sliced on the diagonal. We've got like mini bell peppers, celery, cucumber, all the stuff that my daughter and I like to eat, and I like to have lots of fruits and vegetables available for her so she gets, the vitamins and has a well-rounded relationship with food. I know that's really hard, and that's a privilege to be able to do so. At least for now, I've been trying to like tighten my budget and my spending, but I am still kind of spending a lot on groceries and buying fresh produce and the food that's kind of easy for us. Um, but a lot of people are just you're not going to be in that position, and Sophie and I could very well another few months or something not be in that position too, where I have to just crack down a lot harder on spending, and we might not be able to get fresh fruit as often. Might have to stick more to like frozen, might have to be just more careful with money, things like that. I heard or I read on Instagram there's a nutritionist, I think it was the binge nutritionist, who said if you um something like if you're able to worry about like the quality and nutrition of your diet, you don't need to worry about the quality and nutrition of your diet. That's like so badly. I misspoke it, but that's the gist. And the whole point is like you'll hear with intuitive eating, um, it's like part of intuitive eating is also like recognizing where you are with your privilege for food. And like I grew up on welfare and all like every government assistance program that was available. My mom took me and my sister grocery shopping once a month. We packed the cart with just like the food that food stamps could afford, and we took a cab back home. It was like this once a month big deal. So we didn't get a whole lot of fresh produce. I wouldn't say that we were like the stereotypical, like there's a stereotype of how people on welfare or food stamps eat, which is, it drives me crazy. There's a couple of stereotypes. One is like people complain and say, oh, they eat better than we do. They do like shrimp and lobster. And that's just all like ridiculous. Like it's not true. That's a myth. And then there's the other stereotype that, they just drink like soda and Kool-Aid, like sugar and crap and, all of these things. And like neither of those are accurate, but they also depend a lot upon what's available at your markets. You might live in more of a food desert. You might not have transportation. So you wind up, eating what's available at drugstores, gas stations that accept EBT, things like that. So, for me right now, being on no assistance, I recognize that we're really privileged, that I can say, oh, we have enough produce in the house right now. Or I just, buy a whole bunch of different types of fruit for Sophie without, you know, that fear of like, well, this will only last for how long, and then what will we do for the rest of the month? So things like that. That's privilege. And with intuitive eating, like it makes sense to recognize that. Um, Too many people, when we talk about like weight control and things like that, they don't even recognize the privilege of even with diabetes. I'm not diabetic, but for people who are, there's some interesting conversations happening on Twitter right now about how the rate of like amputation among diabetics is so high for poor and low income people. And I mean, obviously, because you don't get as good of care and you avoid going to the doctor because you can't afford it. Or even if you have government health insurance and they are covering things, doctors will look down on you and not treat you as well. Just there's so many different issues. they'll tell you, you know, to go keto without caring about, you know, the expense, or without caring that like keto really damages a lot of people. It was not a good move for me. It really further damaged my relationship with food. But just, yeah, so I guess anytime I talk about food, I just really like kind of want to hammer in the idea that like privilege should be a part of the conversation. Um, yes, so I buy a lot of things for my daughter when I'm at the store because I think like what are new things she can try. Uh, Danimals. These were never things that I had as a kid because, you know, well, I think Danimals, like for a lot of poor families, it's kind of like you don't want to spend money on drinks. But, you know, these are yogurt drinks, and I will be completely honest that I got them because I know that my daughter will like that there's like Disney Pixar characters on them. This one is strawberry birthday cake. If you buy these things, watch out because I was at the store and like a few fell out and I had to retrieve them. But yeah, you want food for kids to be fun. And one of the unfortunate things about growing up like in diet culture and growing up worrying about your weight and all those things is that there's this running track in your head about like everything that you buy, you know? And I still have it. And it's like, oh no, like, why am I getting her yogurt with sugar? That's a thing. You know, I'm looking and I'm thinking like 11 grams of carbohydrates and 9 grams of sugar. Like, oh my gosh, like, you know, because it's ingrained those messages that like you're a bad parent for feeding your kids sugar. But for me, it's most important that she develops a healthy relationship with food, that she can, you know, eat when she's hungry, stop when she's satisfied, um, not, you know, feel like a bad person for eating certain things. Just, you know, I want her to have a healthy relationship with all of it, with moving her body, all of it. Some other things that we're doing, we've tried the blueberry ones and Sophie really loves them. So today we're trying cranberry orange. They are like morning rounds. I feel like they're a cross between an English muffin and a muffin. Like they have the texture a little bit more of an English muffin, but they have kind of like more of the sweetness of regular muffins. I don't know if you're following what I'm saying, but it makes sense to me. Personally, I feel like cranberry orange is like the stupidest flavor combination in the world. But Sophie might really like it. I might really like it. So you never know. There's a lot of, and I just dropped it. That's fine. There's a lot of bread in this particular shopping trip. That's how it went today. Bagels, mini bagels, buy one get one free. I'm gonna admit I still struggle with buying things on BOGO, but we like having mini bagels in the house. I like that mini bagels are less of a commitment, not about, you know, less carbs or less calories, but just I feel like especially for like a little kid, like a whole bagel is a big commitment, and you know, so a mini bagel is nice. We can add, you know, fruits and vegetables and have like a nice balanced meal. Chocolate chip, I haven't gotten her a chocolate chip flavor in plain. We'll see how that goes. I do wish that they had whole grain, like something more fibery, but our store doesn't carry the whole grain, so that's unfortunate. Milk. This is like our favorite brand of milk that our store carries. I don't know. It tastes better. It has more fat and calories, which I feel like for kids that's actually kind of a good thing. There's studies out there that say people who drink whole fat milk and dairy actually, you know, do better, are more comfortable with their weight, you know, do less dieting and things like that. And yeah, I guess I prefer to do whole milk instead of, you know, low fat and all of that. Nan rounds. So I got non. Should I say not? I should say non. I'm sorry. Okay, so I got these for hummus. I can't get Sophie to like hummus yet, but one of these days, I'm hoping. It's just a nice, you know, nice something different to have. They didn't have the mini like dippers, but I thought, you know, I could cut these into pieces and dip it with hummus. I like hummus. I'm weird and picky about it though. I like it with less tahini, so that makes shopping for hummus kind of interesting. Another yogurt, and again, in like my diet days, I would be like, oh no, this is terrible because it's sugar, even though it says, oh excuse me, 25% less sugar. It's the type of stuff that I would worry about, and it drives me crazy that that I worry about it. But I want to acknowledge, like, when the thoughts come into my head and be like, you know what? That's okay. I can still choose to feed my daughter this food, if I wanted it. But this type of yogurt doesn't appeal to me. But if I wanted it, I could have it too. It's actually so cute though, because Sophie still loves Daniel Tiger, and it has Daniel, and there is, I think that's Anna Platypus. I think so. And the other one is, I think, Oh the Owl. Yeah, Daniel and Oh the Owl. We love Daniel Tiger. We love Mr. Rogers. And we're actually pretty excited about the new PBS show coming out, the puppet show, Donkey Hody. Donkey Hody. Hody Donkey. Donkey Hody. One of those things. But it was a character way back when on the original Mr. Rogers. Maybe not a character that he used a lot. I can't recall. But it's based off of, his messages, and I think that'll be great. I feel better. Like when I read Mr. Rogers and I watch Mr. Rogers, I don't care that I'm 38 years old. I feel good and I feel better. So most of this stuff will be good for Sophie's lunches. But actually, honestly, breakfast too. If dinner feels like kind of a hassle, I might just do a lunchy type dinner, and it's just easy. And then like proteins, like I try to get pre-made proteins when I can, when I like them, and they're not like too cost prohibitive. Barbecue meatloaf. It's one of these like rare things. Like Sophie's slowly branching out and eating more animal protein, so she likes that. We will go with it. Parmesan chicken bites. Yeah, we're actually a big fan of these. Just stick them in the oven, and they have spinach underneath, so you can eat the spinach too, and we like that. I mean, I'm not going to go on and on about health, health and nutrition, but one of the things with intuitive eating is that you get to a point, and then, I'm sorry, I have like eyelashes in my eye. You get to a point and you start to think about gentle nutrition. And I guess that's where I'm at. I know that I feel better when I eat balanced meals, a variety of food, just a little bit of everything. I feel more content. I don't want to binge eat, all of that type of stuff. Another treat that Sophie can take with her lunches, we got rice pudding, super basic. I mean, yeah. But that's the grocery trip. So it wasn't too huge of a grocery trip. Just a few things to add for her lunches. I don't know. There's a lot of you who might be on like your own kind of food freedom journeys, or you might be just trying to navigate the world of like, how do I want to eat? That's been a big thing for me as a parent. And of course, a lot of kids are kind of picky, and my daughter has been picky because she had some oral regression with a tongue tie and surgery after that. But especially with the whole diet culture craziness, nobody really tells us or teaches us how to eat. We get whatever lessons we get from our parents, and then we're just kind of like inundated with all of these ideas about what's best. And all of those messages, come with sort of that subtle sense that if you don't do it right, like you're going to get cancer, you're going to, be fat and have all of these health problems and stuff. And I've written a lot about the fact that I don't like to be fat. I mean, I really don't. I don't like to have this physical attribute that people, see me and just immediately judge. Like they think that they know who I am. And it's, often negative, the assumptions about, that I am lazy or have no willpower, no self discipline, um, can't hear the word no, just all of these, really negative things that I hear about fat people. I don't enjoy any of that. I don't enjoy struggling with my appearance or looking in the mirror and thinking I really like the way that I used to look now. I don't like the way I look now. Um, and it's complicated because when I say I don't like that I struggle with those things, and it's also that level of like frustration with myself. Why is this even an issue? I wish, you know, me, like, knowing who I am and knowing that I don't judge other people. Like, I don't see other, fat people. I don't see other, like, thin people in a negative way. I don't look at other people and think, oh, that, she should really wear makeup, blah, blah, blah. All these different thoughts that, you might have about somebody's appearance. Um, and I suppose that part of it, why I don't think that way, is also because of the way that, I've been treated and the way that I felt about myself over the years. Um, it's it's a weird time. I'm almost 40 and I have PCOS. Um, so, I still deal with like stupid stuff like breakouts. I have like some rosacea and stuff. Um, I deal with like those unwanted hairs that people with PCOS often get. Um, my hair, I haven't done the pink, with the pandemic and stuff, because I don't like to bleach my own hair, and I haven't really been comfortable going to the salons, and so my hair is a wreck, and pretty sure there's like gray happening, and pretty sure my hair is just like getting thinner, and there may be bald spots soon, because those are just things that, especially with PCOS, people have to deal with. And it's interesting how all of that gets wrapped up with food. Like how if I was just eating salmon and blueberries and romaine lettuce all the time, like wouldn't I be, you know, thin and happy and pretty? I might feel more comfortable wearing makeup. Maybe I'd have less breakouts, and all of these things that we think, because we get those types of messages, in the media, like, constantly. Even, the most like supposedly healthy websites, are telling us about all of these different diets, and all of these diets, all of these theories conflict with each other. So it's really difficult to navigate. And, all of those things are just reasons why I'm doing the videos. Um, all of those things are why I'm doing the whole intuitive eating, food freedom thing. It's a very long journey. I will say that. Um, I officially, I mean, I've been doing it for a couple of years, like slowly struggling, falling, wanting to go back into dieting, getting back into food freedom. It's been a couple of years. But this past year has been like more intense for me, more like really trying to stick to it. And then with this year, with 2021, with getting diagnosed with ADHD, that's been a big thing. Realizing that, like, oh, there's a very huge association of binge eating with ADHD. And just learning what types of routines make me feel better. Like this, it's just all self work that everybody like needs to do. We all like know it on some level. Like we need to figure out what type of routines and lifestyles work for us. But some of us genuinely like struggle a lot more with those routines. And we're probably the ones who say like adulting is hard, or like I don't really feel like I'm, adulting well. And all of those are reasons why I do these, or why I write the stuff that I do. So I'm hoping that they will be helpful for you. This one is still long. I blame it on the Adderall. I don't know. And part of it is just the fact that I don't come into any of these videos with a plan. Kind of the way that like I write to. I don't come into it with a plan. My hope is to just be like an honest, authentic voice. And sometimes that's just very painfully awkward, and I think at the same time that should be okay. I wish that awkward and imperfect was more normalized and more acceptable. I think that it would go so far, in helping you deal with kind of like our social collective issues. Like back to the whole Mr. Rogers stuff. I think about his show, and it was so imperfect. He wasn't like the best singer or any of this. So much of it was like so hokey, but all of it still resonates. It was so honest, and I hope that these videos will do that too. I'm having a weird day. I'm having a weird month, so I'm just gonna wrap this up, and we'll see. I'll make another video when I get that gumption to go ahead and do it and not talk myself out of it. Hope you have a good week or 2 weeks until I do one of these again. Gosh, I'm not a good speaker. That's okay. If you want to check out my work on Medium, Shannon Ashley on Medium, and I will see you again soon. Also, I did notice that there are comments, and I haven't moderated the comments or like responded to comments yet, and I do apologize for that, because I know that people appreciate it when their comments are responded to, and I haven't yet been in the mental space to do it. So I'll try to do some of that as I get a little bit more used to doing these. All right, take care, enjoy, live your life with freedom. Bye-bye.